Bella a tutti ragazzi, oggi continuiamo su Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. Ma quanto tempo ci Ah ok, perché devo cliccare io, ecco perché sono un incoglionito, me lo merito, sì, sono un incoglionito, ditelo, sono un incoglionito. Allora, perfetto. Ci dobbiamo vestire come un marinaio.
My, my archive. I can all.
Ma come Cristo mi dovrei vestire da marinaio? Ho vestiti da marinaio? Marinaio, eccolo qui. Cioè, non è che un marinaio si veste proprio così, però.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Ok. Comunque come gioco è veramente molto bello. Pub Sandwich. Mamma mia che posto. Mamma mia che posto. Con chi dovrei parlare? Con lui e basta. Posto.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Dai! Poco arrabbiato.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
Devo assolutamente prendere i suoi tratti però prima. Perché metto un attimo a posto il mouse. Unghie gialle.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to...
Ok, mi sono rotto il cazzo. Perché si arrabbia così tanto?
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look.
I'd like to buy you a...
Good winner as well. That... You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Ah, of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too, swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she had foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Caso.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
No, non penso che sia. Appunto. È bellissimo, tra l'altro. Tutto ciò è bellissimo. Ma adesso immagino che dovrò andare a Scotland Yard, immagino.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes?
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer... I'm not saying...
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Tutto ciò porta a questo. Che porta a un'altra cosa. Che portano a due assassini, attenzione. Sarà giusto?
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector. Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr.
It was a combination of two motives.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me.
Ok.
Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
You've got it wrong. It isn't true.
That's right. I confess.
Well, young man, turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
Signori,
The case
abbiamo
is
risolto il
resolved,
caso.
Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Bene, signori, bene. No, che mosso. Altra conclusione. Ah no. Ah, ok, quindi io risulto nel 5%. Ok. Mistero sulle rotaie. Immagino.
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes.
Hmm.
As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is, the one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We are about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need help. Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours. You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That is the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country. Although if your waistline expands very much further.
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Che bello souvenir.
My archive. I can always consult with it, if needed.
Holmes, please call a cab while I pack my suitcase. We shall be late for the train.
Toby.
Look after Mrs. Hudson for us, Toby. Watson, I'll hold a cab for us. We leave...
Un secondo.
What a gloomy night. It was warmer inside the waiting hall.
Since the station master told us that the train is about to arrive, we should not have to wait very much longer.
Yes, at last.
Attention! The train is arriving at the station. Please stand well away from the platform edge.
I'll take your bags and your blasted archive suitcase.
You're bon.
But, Holmes, the headlight. It's faded away.
Something is wrong. I can't hear any sound from the incoming train.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain what has happened?
I don't know. It's as if the train vanished into thin air.
Holmes, say something.
Quick, fetch a lantern and let us take a look.
It's too dark. Only fog and rails, nothing else.
There is no use in stumbling around here at night. We will come back tomorrow. Well, here we are again at Evesham Station. We have a full day ahead. Let us begin our investigation.
Non posso andare. Raga, non sto capendo. Ah, devo entrare qui.
First of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
Quindi per di qui.
This is the place where we saw the train vanish last night.
A discarded item, possibly thrown from the train. There are no tracks or footprints on the ground. Railway sleepers, nothing unusual. The rails have not been touched. There's nothing unusual here. There are no signs to indicate that the train ran off the track, nor are there any other traces. There is nothing whatsoever. There are no clues. But then, a negative result is also a result.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No clues and you're smiling.
Yes, Watson, I do smile on occasion. This mystery appears very promising. This investigation won't be simple. We shall require...
Perhaps the station master could lend us one. Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
Dai, fammi salire, Watson.
Good morning. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Yes, I remember you. I'm Station Master Everett. You were here last night. So, you are Mr. Holmes, the great detective. Will you be investigating what happened?
I shall indeed.
It is extraordinary that an entire train could disappear like that. And to think of all the poor people inside it, the passengers, the driver.
Could you please give us any details about the train?
Well, there was nothing so very special about it. At least not that I can recall. My memory's not what it used to be. However, if you need it, you can have...
I would be glad to have a detailed map.
But of course, please.
See you later, my good man. Railway post bags.
Come ho fatto a mettere la prima persona?
An old locomotive bed. This part is probably from a This place serves as a storage area for the station. This part is probably from a locomotive.
Nothing else, okay. Transponder. No. Invoice.
This map will be useful.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train...
Spondare.
A new telegram.
I think we should meet this Mr. Robinson. Here is the train set. A telegraph. A telegraph.
Mr. Robinson.
According to the train composition report, there was a special wagon. What does that entail?
That's a highly secure car, ordered by a private party. It is generally to carry something of value. Those wagons have iron walls, you know, without any windows. And they're fitted with a complex key lock.
That is important information. Do you know what was inside this particular wagon?
Certainly not. No, that's private. And it's not my responsibility to allot the wagons to whoever.
Was there anything exceptional about any of the passengers aboard the train?
What do you mean? Like officials? I wouldn't know. Oh, but now that you mention it, yes, there was something. There was a message from Bridlington station saying that the train had been delayed because of an issue with the passengers. But what kind of problem that they didn't say?
That is interesting. You mentioned a problem at Bridlington station.
Of course, it's a suburban railway station.
See you later, my good man.
The entire train.
Ok. Oh, che bella questa musica, mi rilassa un botto.
Railway post bags.
Oh, eccolo qui, signore.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is...
Are you a representative of this damned railway company? Because I have a complaint.
We are not from the railway company. We are...
Well, in that case, Mr. Shamrock Flomes, please excuse me, but I'm not in the mood for idle chit-chat at the moment.
Bella australiana.
You must be Mr. Robinson, is that correct?
Yes?
I am leading the investigation of the disappearing train. It would help if you could answer my questions.
Ah, well, all right. I have nothing to hide.
I presume it was you who placed the order for the special wagon.
Yes. It was to transport my valuable prototype safely to London. My prototype is a revolutionary device. It is capable of producing electricity. I'm a businessman and an engineer. I had already found several potential customers for my invention, but I was very optimistic about the directors' board who were travelling on the train last night.
This revolutionary machine of yours, was it very valuable?
For God's sake, sir, it is priceless. It could change the world we live in, and yet I was selling it for almost nothing. I am a humanitarian, you see. I do not know if I will ever be able to get over this disaster. I cannot believe that it disappeared with that damn train.
You mentioned a director's board. Which company do they own?
The Chilean Barcazes Company. I had made an appointment with them. Now they are lost, along with the train and my prototype.
What do you know about the Barcazes Company?
It's a large South American company. They showed a great deal of interest in my prototype, and they seemed wealthy enough to do business with.
Mr. Robinson, could you please clarify? Were you travelling alongside your prototype?
Yes, I was. But I had to step off the train. And all because of this stupid station master.
I received a telegram declaring that an important person, a Mr. Bromsby, wished to see you in the waiting room. I merely informed you of this.
Mr. Bromsby is a wealthy gentleman. His interest in my invention was truly unexpected. So yes, of course, I agreed to see him. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. I thought perhaps he might have been delayed, so I chose to wait a while. But despite my requests, the train left the station without me. Absolutely unacceptable.
The timetable is strict. We cannot wait any longer. The regulations require the train to be on time.
You are an idiot. You will pay for it. I will sue you.
Povero ragazzo.
Goodbye, sir.
I will not move from here until I receive my refund.
This is an absolute scandal. It's always the same with these rail companies. No respect for the customer.
Please calm down, sir. What is your concern?
Concern? What is my concern? I'll tell you what my concern is. Last night I were on the train as usual with my colleague, heading home. Then along came this ridiculous ticket inspector, who started arguing that our tickets were invalid. He made us get off the train, and he was extremely rude about it.
Were you aboard the train that vanished last night?
Yes, I heard that it disappeared. But I don't care because we would have stopped before then anyway. Our tickets were valid and no doubt about it. And then, to top it all, the ticket inspector pushed everyone else out too, except for a bunch of rich. Well, because their type don't need a ticket.
Can you recall anything more specific about this fortunate group?
Well, yes. They were all foreigners. Spanish-looking toffs with snake eyes.
Goodbye, sir. The ticket inspector forced all the passengers from the train except for the directors of the Barcazes Chilean company.
It's a scandal. An absolute outrage.
I will not move from here.
Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help?
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I am investigating the unfortunate
I see. I'm Station Master Bertram, but...
Do not worry. I have only a few... Station Master Everett from Evesham told us that you reported a problem with some passengers last...
Indeed. This train is a regular line for those who work at Nottingham. But yesterday, I've no idea why, and it delayed the train. But the worst of it is that now I have to deal with two furious passengers who are complaining about the company's service. They stayed here the whole night, but people do not usually pay much attention. There are very strict and clear rules. Paragraph 234 of Article 2G-43 states that in the event of a complaint, you must...
Yes, thank you. I understand. Apart from the passengers disembarking, did you notice anything else that was unusual last night?
I did, and I mentioned it in my report to our higher management on the matter.
What was it?
Sorry, but I can't tell you. The station master's report...
Confidential, you say? How long?
I have worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Let me speak frankly, Mr. Bertram. Your age and your lack of confidence in your position are quite apparent. You cannot deny that you have only recently completed your studies.
I was at the top of my class.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
And you are obstructing the investigation of an important case. I would suggest that you cooperate with Mr. Holmes. Think of your career.
Ah, that is... Well, first of all, I scolded the ticket inspector, for it was he who asked the passengers to leave the train. It was not his right to do so. And then, later on, I received a most peculiar telegram from my...
What did the telegram say?
Well, that was the peculiar thing. It was almost unreadable. It was full of errors and awfully vague. It was hard to understand if the train had correctly passed that station or not.
We ought to visit Chesterfield Station. We need to confirm if the station master saw the train or not. The insurance policy for Robinson's machine. A significant sum.
Don't touch anything, please. Don't touch anything, please. Don't touch anything, please.
A telegraph. According to this document, you have insurance for your prototype.
Oh, thank God. Where did you find it?
Near the telegraph station.
I must have lost it when I tried to send a message, which I was prevented from doing.
I apologise for that, but regulations state that public access to the telegraph is strictly prohibited.
Upon my word, you keep on digging that hole of yours. You have no idea who I am.
I see that you kept your gripsack with you. Why don't you leave it in the luggage room?
I've had other things to think about. I lost my prototype. And this idiot station master just stands here doing nothing to help.
Oh, but...
Well, that won't do at all. Station master, I believe that the regulations state that any passenger luggage should...
I'll do it right away, sir. Sorry, sir.
This Robinson is quite a character. We should learn more about him.
I will not move from here until I receive my refund.
It's a scandal. An absolute outrage.
Railway post. This gripsack belongs to Mr. Robinson.
I think we should open it, Holmes. This is what they call for...
Of course.
Come?
Look, Watson, a bundle of contracts. Very suspicious. We should study them carefully. An exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another... Well, it is very clear that this Mr. Robinson received prepayments from various people for his machine.
È così più che altro. Però aspetta. Non porta a niente.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
I will not move from here until I...
Don't touch anything, please.
Capo che fare adesso? C'è molto altro da fare, eh? Promuovere l'accesso, il film, qualcosa.
This bin is full of...
A fishing advertisement.
I had thought that all station masters knew the Morse code, but apparently not.
A telegraph.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes. How could he fall asleep at work like this? Excuse me, sir. Wake up. Ah, his breath. He must have swallowed half a distillery.
And that explains the how.
By his sleeping off the alcohol, you mean? Wake up, please, sir.
What? The 18-hour 72 train has arrived?
Good day to you. We are investigating the disappearance of last night's train, and we should like...
Non riesco a capire cosa gli manca, ragazzi. Oh.
Were there any passengers who got off that particular train?
No, nobody, it seems to me. Although I did not leave my office, so...
No doubt you were...
You don't say. You can't ever get any peace around here. Now you have to send a telegram each time a train arrives and departs.
Station Master Bertram from Bridlington showed me a strange...
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
Never mind.
No.
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
You were not tired, you were inebriated. Tell me the truth now, or I shall not hesitate to document your state in my report.
My friend means that you will end up...
All right. So I was drunk. I don't remember all of yesterday, to be truthful to you. Please don't go harsh.
Holmes, this man has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol. He's not entirely helpless yet.
It will not be long before he is.
This Robinson fellow seems suspicious.
Ah, will I ever get any peace?
C'è nessuno.
locked. There is no sense in asking the station master to open it. We shall have to pick... Bags were recently dragged here. French wine, a remarkable vintage. These bottles are too expensive for a station master's wage. They were likely taken...
Shameful.
Railway post bags. These tools were used quite recently. They are still You have quite a number of dirty tools.
Ah, yes. Well, thank you for reminding me. I should clean them. Although, it might be easier to put them outside. Seems it might start raining soon.
I meant, what were they?
Some workers come here and borrowed them from me. They wanted to lift the edge of the railway to one of the stations on the line, so that the water wouldn't come in too close.
Who were these workers?
Well, they didn't seem to be from the company, but they was fine lads. They invited me to share a drink. And whatever it was, it had a kick to it. They wasn't English. No, I don't believe so. But see, they knew just what a man needed to brighten up his dull evening.
Ah. This Robinson fellow seems suspicious to me. This bin is full of empty bottles.
A handcar wheelbase. Interesting. It appears that elements of the... Watson, please tell me, do you believe in magic?
Of course not, Holmes.
Then you are of the opinion that a train cannot simply disappear?
Well, we both know that that is obvious. Why are you asking such peculiar questions?
A little patience, Watson. You will understand my point quite soon. So, are you quite certain that you saw the train at Evesham Station?
Yes, of course. We saw it coming. The headlights, and heard the whistle.
But that is it. We didn't see the train itself.
But... Oh, Holmes, I'm a little confused. I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
I should use the appropriate object here. I should use the appropriate object here. I should use
Pasta di legno. Facciamo così, va là.
So, now here we have the fake train that we saw approaching Evesham Station last night.
Doesn't look much like a train to me.
Be patient, Watson, I haven't finished yet. Try using your imagination. Our train requires only a headlight and a steam whistle. We need to attach a head.
This Robinson fellow seems suspicious to me.
I need something locked.
Cosa di lungo? Non mi pare ci sia nient'altro.
The long pole is now attached. The headlight is attached. The steam whistle is now connected.
Holmes, what can we do to make the...
It is elementary, my dear. The fire extinguisher. Now let us see what we have here. First of all, let us... The steam whistle is ready. Watson, I do believe that we have created an exact replica of the train that vanished in front of us last... The criminal mind can be most inventive. I am somewhat in awe.
So such a thing is possible. If someone went to all the trouble of creating this fake train, then it was surely with the intention of stealing the real one.
Ah, Watson, you should not jump to conclusions. In fact, this does not tell us very much at all, except that the train did not evaporate into thin air.
Although you half suspected it.
At any rate, we now need to find where the real train might be hidden. I suggest we use my archives to find a more detailed map of...
Well, I hope that justifies our having to load your massive archive suitcase onto the cab.
Now we have two maps. Here it is. There is a side branch to the railway. Its first switch is located... There is one more station to be visited. It is located between Chesterfield... There is a small section of a railway at the end of... This suitcase contains my archives. We can consult with it if needed. It is fortunate that...
A funny character. He looks anxious.
And...
Holmes, look. There's a flooded area over here. I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. John Watson. We are investigating the case...
Is that so? Well, good day, gentlemen. I am Mr. Duff, the station master of this station. I'll be happy to help you in any way I...
It appears that you may be at risk of some flood...
You mean that the whole bloody lake is at our feet?
Quite so. But it is strange, because according to my map, there should be a...
How should I know? I only arrived here a few...
And where did you work?
Well, I was working in Nottingham. But I asked for a quieter place, so they transferred me here. Life is cheaper.
Did any passengers leave or board the train last night?
No. I saw no one as usual. I reported the train's passage by telegraph.
Goodbye, sir. It is obvious that we cannot inspect the quarry.
Che lago.
Watson, would you like some tea?
No.
Watson.
No. newspaper articles on horse racing. Hurdle, steeplechase and flat racing. He is a true enthusiast, Holmes.
Betting slips for horse racing. Betting. A telegraph.
Non ci vedo tanta roba qui da visitare. Guarda, c'è un cazzo. Voglio sapere più che altro dove è finito l'altro, capito? Siamo qui allora.
Mines. This is interesting. The switch is rusted, but it still works. It would be quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines. Here we are at the beach that is located near the quarry and Doncaster station. It doesn't look like a very good place to rest. These traces were made. The vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. It would have. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. Nothing. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interest. Nothing interest. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with material. This place was abandoned fairly recently. This place was abandoned. An abandoned gypsy caravan. This place was abandoned fairly recently. Observing the coastline and the moored boats, we are able to see that the lake's water level dropped. The lake has flooded the quarry. The dam was probably breached. a label with the name Las Zarpas.
Here are the mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned. This is an administrative...
This is an information sign. Watson, you are a gentleman.
And where is...
I haven't the fa...
Very well.
WEA coal. These mines belong to them.
This mine has completely collapsed, Holmes.
It is curious, but to be truthful, I am not entirely surprised.
It's difficult to follow you, Holmes.
Someone removed these screws. Most probably. A few feet of the rails have... This is an unusual kind of paper. Let us look inside. Sawdust. I am almost certain it is a... Watson, could you assist, please? Do you have your pistol? Good. Fire at this package.
Dynamite.
This is the cabin for the This box must be the same. The Mexican company Caracao and the Chilean Barcazas both want to buy the mines. I need more information. Perhaps Mycroft could help.
È un casino veramente. Credo che signori potremmo fermarci qui. Grazie mille per aver seguito questo video. Ciao ragazzi.